Hello and welcome to the Ministry of Miniatures, and today we've got a very special battle report. I am joined by George and we are going to have a game of Achtung Panzer. So this is the setup and this is what we're going to be doing. So let's have a talk through and get the basics set up. Okay, so this is our initial setup. We've used the Blood and Steel starter set from Warlord Games, which includes 3 Shermans. So there are 2 Sherman V and a Firefly, and then on this side I've got 2 Panther Ds. So that's what we're going to be doing. It works out exactly 50 points because we have just amended the values of the tanks to work out their class. And we are going to be doing a very basic one of the missions in the book, which is the Armoured Clash. So as you can see, there's 8 sectors, but we'll talk about that shortly. So what we've done to start with is we have worked out some cards. We've only got the starter affiliate set that Warlord have sent through, so we've printed these cards off. We've filled in some basics, and there's going to be 2 tanks for the Germans, as you see, and 3 for the British. And to get started, we're going to put an order dice from Bolt Action into the bag. We're going to give it a shake, and then invite George to take a dice out, and whichever one he takes out is the one he's going to be using.
I don't feel lucky, and it's only 50%.
So you're going to be British?
Oh, of course.
Yes. So there we go. So this is going to be 50 points and we're going to go through the basic setup. So as I said, we've got very, very basic details about each of the tanks on there. But then we're going to go roll around the crew status and how skilled they are. Okay, so we've just finished. George went first. So he has got medium caliber and low caliber. So these are the rolls he did. So with the Firefly, which is medium, he ended up with 6 and he's allocated 2 to the commander, 2 to the gunner and 2 to the driver. Next up was the Sherman 5 with the guy sticking out the top. He rolled a 5 for that, so he's given 2 stars to the commander, 2 stars to the gunner and 1 star to the driver. And then the Sherman 5 with the hedge cutters, he rolled a 5 for that as well, so 2 stars to the commander, 2 to the crew for the gunner and 1 star for the driver. So there we go. They're the 3 tanks for the British. Now let's have a look at the Germans. So both the Panthers are medium. They're 25 points each. So as you can see here, for the stripy one, I've called Stripes. He is led by Ansel Glock and he has got a roll of 5. So I've done pretty much the same as George. So the commander's got 2 stars. The gunner has 2 stars and the driver has 1 star. And then Snow White, which is taken, the captain for that is Thomas Zugman. And as you can see there, I managed to get 6, so I've done the same. So the commander's got 2 stars, the gunner's got 2 stars, and the driver has 2 stars. So there we go, we've done the crew grade stars, and we're ready to move to the next stage. Okay, so we're just going to quickly work out our event cards. So because we've got 3 tanks,
because it's between 3 and 6 tanks on the table, we each get 4 cards.
Okay, so let's just mix and match them, and then we get 4 each. So I'll let you distribute those, and we use these, and then we replenish them at the end of each turn. Is that correct?
At the end of the 3 activations, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we replenish and exchange. Pick a pile.
Let's just go for that one. Controversy. There we go. So we've allocated the crew. We've got the points. We've got the scenario. George is going to start from this end. It does go long ways, and I'm going to go from that end. I just want to quickly go through what we've got on the table because this scenario has ambush sectors. So 8 ambush sectors. So the wheat field on both sides are going to be ambush sectors. The tree clumps with the base are going to be ambush sectors, as are the ruins here and the ruins there. So that is 8 ambush sectors. And with the trees, did we say is that difficult terrain or impassable terrain? There we go. Is that this? But these are ambush points you can go in, aren't they?
You can pass through them.
There we go. So this is our first ever game. It's a bit of a trial game. We're just going to give it a go. We're going to play with the rules, see how it works. Give us your feedback. Let us know if you want to see more. Okay, so first up, we have gone to setup, and it's the British deployment. With this scenario, you can deploy within 6 inches of your board edge. So As we can see there, the British are deployed within 6 inches. And did you decide you're going buttoned up, buttoned down?
They're all buttoned down. They're all out.
Okay, so
They're all undone.
So all the commanders are sticking their heads out, and with the Germans, I'm going to do the same, I think. So as you can see here, this is the German deployment. I've set up within 6 inches as well, and I'm facing off against the 3 British tanks. So there we go. Let's get started and see what happens. Right, there we go. So we're all ready. We've decided for ease, we're going to allow, so these dice here, they're small ones because we don't have any tokens yet. 1 is for armor piercing, 2 is for the HE. And as you can see on the ammunition rack, load and ready. So we've all decided we're going to put armor piercing in the ready situation. And as you can see, the tank top is unbuttoned. So that's the British. Okay, and with the Germans, they're both unbuttoned, so the commanders are out. And as you can see, I've also put armored piercing shells in the ready. So there we go. We are all set. We've done the deployments. We're ready to start and see what happens with the tank war. Right, so the first thing to do is radio check. Because we've got 2 tanks, we're just going to check whether they can talk to each other. And, well, I've got line of sight, so I actually just need a 3 up. And they can. So let's have a look at what the British can do. Okay, so the Germans got the initiative first. So for my 2 tanks, I'm taking these 2 tokens. And I am going to allocate them. I'll show you on here. There we go. So
basically, I need the 3 up. They've all got line of sight.
yeah, so the British.
Again, with line of sight between the 3 vehicles. So trained commander is the highest rank, highest level. So I need a 3 up.
You get it?
So I pick up these 3.
Yep.
And I assign them
As you will.
in secret.
Of course. So there we go. So the British have just put their tokens next to their tanks. Okay, so we've allocated the initiative order. Now it's time for the reveals. So let's see. I've got 1 and I've got 3.
And I've got the others. 5, 4, 2.
Okay. Okay, so we've allocated, we're all ready to go. We've got the order, but I'm actually going to play a card. And I've got interference, which is the enemy's radios are playing up. So basically, I get to reallocate your initiative markers.
Not so fast there,
What?
Mr. Fritz. I'm playing Roger That.
No.
Roger That cancels interference.
Oh, what's German for bugger? Buggers!
Scheiße.
Yes.
Oh,
There we go. So those 2 are cancelled out. But there we go. So you get to keep your order of where your tanks go. So that's good use of the first cards in the game.
Nobody believed we did that without.
I know. Right, so we've allocated all the movement. Now we're going to go through an initiative order. Okay, so first up is Snow White, my white panther. I've given it a halt order because what I want to do is I'm going to use one of these markers from Bolt Action to do spotted. So I'm going to move over here and put A next to the tank. So I'm going to try and spot it. But because I'm unbuttoned, I can actually do the commander test. Is it a commander test? So it's going to be a 3+ to get that for free. And I get a 6. So
you've spotted him for free. You've still got a tactical action to make.
yes, which I guess I don't want to do a snapfire. I'm going to
Well, you can shoot
target
at him. It's not a snapfire if you've spotted him.
Ah, okay. Okay, so I've given my tank a halt order. I can clearly see that Sherman down the road. I'm in the right angle on the front arc. My turret's facing in the right direction. Looking at my tank, I do only get 1 dice because it is on the targeting there. I can spot it, so I get to roll 1. If I put the proper targeted, it would be 3. So I'm going to roll 1 dice. It's long range, so I'm going to need a 5 with 1 dice. And this is to hit. And I get the 5. So I've hit it. So now we just need to look and work out the penetration. And with that, I have got penetration 8. So let's look at the British tank and see what that is. Okay, so I've hit the tank. So first thing up, hit location. Is that right?
You've hit the front, So we need to roll one die to see where you've hit.
So that's a 5.
So you've hit the turret.
Okay.
So you've hit the turret front, and the turret front armour is 9.
Okay.
So that made a difference, because if you hit the hull, you'd have been automatically able to penetrate.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at penetration. A tank gun has 2 penetration values, one for shots using AP, which you were using. To determine whether your shot penetrates the target's armour, roll a d6 and add the result to the firing gun's penetration value.
1. That's typical.
So that's a 9. Now, I believe you've glancing shot.
Yeah.
Because, so 9 would equal it, but because it's a 1, when rolling to determine the shot's penetration value, if you roll a 1, the shot has glanced off the target's armour, although it may still cause damage. In this case, the best result that can be achieved on the penetration table is damaging hit. So you've hit a glancing blow on the turret, so you need to roll the dice again.
And there's another one. That doesn't look good.
So you would equal, less the turret's armour value, no effect, equal to target's armour value is a damaging hit. So you've caused damage.
So let's work out where that damage is.
Well, it was you hit the turret. So I take a marker for a damage on the turret.
Yes. So let's put that on. It goes onto your card, doesn't it? There we go. So we just put turret damage on that tank because we don't have the markers at the moment. So there we go. That's the first activation. Now we go to number 2, which is going to be the British Firefly. So one thing we have discussed is we revealed all the tokens to say which order the tanks go in, but actually what we thought might be good is we would know the order of the tanks. So it might just add that level of uncertainty if we just say, right, who's got 1, we do that, who's got 2, then we resolve that, who's got 3, etc, etc. Because then in this situation I wouldn't know already who's going next. So we might do that in the next turn just to see what that looks like as opposed to revealing all at once.
And that may well be what is intended.
Yes, so we'll find that out for future battles, but for now we've done it this way. Next turn we'll try keeping them revealed and just do them one at a time.
Forward move order. So he's going to move forward 7. Like that. Tactical move, he's going to scoot. He's scooting forward. So it's 2d6 and I take the high number because he's going forward. So he's going forward 6. Scoot.
So he's zooming forward. Fortune favours the brave and all that. Okay, next up is stripes. I've got that tank's number 3. I've given a halt order on that tank as well, because I'm going to do, I'm going to have a go at shooting as well. So let's have a look what I can do.
So we put a spot marker next to it.
Right, there we go. So I can just about see the Firefly through the ruins, so through the ambush. And now I'm going to try to, because I'm unbuttoned, I can have a go at trying to get spotting it for free. So 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I get that for free. And then I can have a shot, I guess. Right, so with this guy, I can only use 1 dice because I've spotted him. So it's a 5+ to have a successful result. And no, I don't. Otherwise, there would have been a kind of an in the way for the terrain here. But there we go. So I've fired, and then I can move my armor piercing shell back into my ammunition rack. Okay, next up is your number 4, your Sherman.
Wilf Wooler is in command, and he's going to go left. So he's going to do a left turn and then move, because he can do it in any order. So he's literally going to pivot round the centre that far, which is well within the 90 degrees he's allowed to go.
Yeah.
And then he's going to go forward 7 inches.
Okay.
And tactical move. Don't like leaving my side armour there. I'm going to scoot. So he's going to scoot as well. So as we know, that's 2 dice. Oh, he can do a pivot.
Okay, so you just check the rules and...
I'm not allowed to pivot as part of a scoot action. I'll still scoot because I can always use the Firefly as cover.
Okay.
So I can move 6. I don't have to move all 6. I can move part of 6. So I'm just going to move like that.
Yeah. Very good.
So he's finished this activation. Okay, so we're on to Sherman number 5 this turn. George Morgan is sergeant in command. He's a bit stunned because the turret was pinged. We forgot to check to see whether he went button down.
Well, we can do that now, can't we? Before he
Yes,
does anything.
so as I believe he has to pass a test. I'll roll the dice, get the idea. It's a 3. So we forgot, he was hit a glancing blow on the turret and damaged. He's unbuttoned, he has to do an unbutton test, which he should have done at the time. So we roll on the button up table and he rolls a 5. He is stunned. The commander must immediately button up and loses 1 star for the remainder of the battle.
Ooh.
So so George Morgan's a bit shook up there. So he goes buttoned up and he becomes a 1-star commander for the rest of the battle.
Ouch.
Ooch. His order was forward because he's reckless like that. So he's going 7 forward. Yeah. 7 forward. And as part of a movement he can pivot, but I believe he has to pass a crew test. His driver is only a 1. So to pivot he needs to roll 4, 5 or 6.
He does.
Are we allowing that?
Yeah.
Okay, he's pivoted, so he's going to pivot that way. And then surprise, surprise, he's going to scoot. We're going to do a scoot.
Okay, so you pivoted as part of the movement, so now a scoot. Because previously you scooted and then you couldn't do a pivot.
6. So I'm just going to go straight forward. 6.
There you go. Moving up.
Is he still in sight? He is, isn't he?
Yep.
He's doomed. Right, so we've moved everybody.
Yes. Okay, we're about to move on to the second phase of 3 for this turn. So first up will be Snow White, my Panther. So let's reveal what I've got. And I've given it, surprise, surprise, a halt. So as you can see, I now do not have any ammunition loaded. So actually, we're going to go through the sequence now of loading to try and get that tank ready. I've still got your tank in sight.
Yeah, so you don't lose the spotting.
So I could do a snap, but I think I can try and hurry the load, can't I?
You can, yes, you can rush it, but if you get it wrong,
I'm unloaded.
you're unloaded completely.
Okay. Right, I need to make some headway on the Sherman. So I'm going to go for a forced load. So this armour piercing, I'm going to try and get it into the ready position now. So I actually have to do a gunner check. So I need to do a crew check with my gunner. So I need to roll high. What do I need?
3 plus.
3 plus. And I get a 2. However, I do have a charmed life card, which means at any time you fail a crew test, you get to re-roll.
And I haven't got anything to block that.
I got worried then. You pick your cards up as if say, and here's another one. Right, so I get to roll again, hopefully get a 3, 4 or 5. And I get a 5. So I've successfully loaded my ammunition into the ready position, so I'm ready to fire. And I did a halt. So that is that tank done, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, next up is number 2, the Firefly.
And he is going forward to the, it doesn't block line of sight. I keep forgetting that, but he's going forward.
Can I just play another card?
Yep.
So I've got strong point. Engineers fortify a defensive position from which your infantry can attack. At any time on any uncleared ambush terrain, that ambush now becomes a strong point.
Okay.
So
That, in future, if that becomes activated with infantry,
yep,
it's a strong point.
yep.
So
But for now,
it's harder to clear.
so I leave that card there so we know that's a strong point.
Yeah.
There we go, so that's a forward. Are
Um,
you pivoting or just going to stay there?
I think I'm going to try and spot your, because we must remember we can see over this. It's not obscuring terrain, it's ambush terrain.
It's just the same, isn't it? It'd be I'm classed as...
It's a thing to have to get in my head.
Let's get down and have a look, because this is line of sight, this game, so as long as you can see past the tank.
But you have to ignore the terrain, basically. Because it's not, that terrain does not block line of sight.
Yeah, I reckon you can see him.
I believe I can do that as a, because he's out of his turret, it's a free crew test, isn't it, to spot?
Yep.
It's not free. Is it free?
Okay, so you're going to try and spot stripes.
So I'm trying to spot him. And I have to pass a crew test to spot him. And that is just a trained man, so it's 3, 4, 5 or 6 to spot.
And yes, you do.
So I've spotted him. And that became free because I passed the test.
Indeed.
So I can take a shot.
Yep.
I think I must.
I think you must as well.
Because I know I've moved and things. So this is going to be interesting. Right, okay, so I keep forgetting about the ambush terrain not giving you complete cover unless designated. So I had thought I would move him forward, my Firefly would move forward and then take a shot, having spotted the Panther stripes over there. But because I've only got 1 dice for only spotting, and because I moved I would lose 1 dice, my only option would be a snapshot. And with a snapshot, you have to roll 2 dice and both of them have to get the to hit number. And I think those odds are too long and it would be emptying my breach unnecessarily. So he's just going to, well, stay there.
Very good. And then on to number 3 then.
Number 3 is yours.
Okay, for number 3, I have got a forward.
Ooh.
So I'm going to move forward. But I've very nicely positioned myself there. So I'm going to attempt a small pivot to the right. So I need to do a crew test. And that tank is it the driver? Or the
Yeah,
driver. So the driver's only 1 star.
So 4, 5 or 6.
1.
So you don't get to pivot.
So I just move up until I get to the...
You can move into ambush terrain in theory.
I think that's fine.
Okay, because you don't have to move the whole move.
It just stops when it touches,
You don't
doesn't
have to
it?
move at all if you don't want to.
No, that's fine. I'll stay there and just touch. And then for my tactical, I'm going to have a go at... I need to load. So I'm going to have another go at...
Forcing.
Yeah, I'm going to try and force. So the gunner is 2 stars. So again, it's a 4, 5, 6.
3, 4, 5,
3,
6.
and of course he fails.
That's a calamity. If you pass, but it wasn't.
So we just checked the rules, and the calamity means I've not got any ammunition. So he is still unloaded.
You fumbled.
Yeah, fumbled. He dropped the shell, and that's it. Unfortunately, it didn't go off. But there we go. So we're going to move on to tank 4.
And he's going to try and do a right. He's going to do a right turn forward. Yeah. Now we did it wrong last turn. His right turn will then mean he can move 4 inches. So I'm going to right turn him round his centre, just that far, and then I'm going to move 4 inches forward. I can move up to 90 degrees, so there's an optimistic. And I'm going to scream forward 4, and for my tactical move, I am going to scoot.
I thought you might.
Because Shermans need to get as close as they can. So scoot is 2 dice. Because he's going forward, it will be the highest. So it's another 4.
That'll do. And then on to tank number 5. So yeah, tank number 5. Forward.
Just straight forward. Need to be more precise.
I'll check. I think I can still see him.
Okay.
Because it just has to be any part of the tank, doesn't it?
Yeah, even the tip of a barrel.
Yeah, I can see the rear end sticking out of the woods.
Okay, still spotted at the moment. We're going to do a scoot.
For your tactical.
4.
4 inches, which should be enough to get you out of spotted. And he just moves up to the...
Because you don't have to move the hole. So is he not spotted now?
Well, if I can't see through the trees, he's hidden.
What are you doing?
So there we go, that's the second phase finished. We're now going to move on to the third phase. So let's work out what we're going to do and we'll come back. Okay, phase 3, and we are going to start with Snow White. So Thomas Zugman is doing a forward order. Surprise, surprise, he's fully loaded. So let's move him forward and see where I end up. Okay, so I've just ended up here and I am going to do a pivot. So he's 2-star the driver, so I need a 3, 4, or 5 or 6. And I get a 1, so he's just going to stay there.
Is there a calamity associated with it?
Let's
I
check.
think you pivoted the other way or something.
Yeah, or reversed. So we've just checked the rules and there's no calamity for failing the pivot crew test. So there we go, that tank is done with his movement. So I now... what do I want to do for my tactical? So I am going to, as part of my tactical, put a second round in the load position, ready to go. So there we go. That is Snow White over and done with. So on to tank 2, the Sherman.
Halting.
Yeah, I thought he might.
Halting. Bless him. And for his tactical shot, for his tactical move, he's going to try and shoot at your stripes over there.
Yep.
So, he has spotted you, he is stationary, he gets 1 dice. He gets 1 dice needing 5 to hit you. So, 33 and a third % chance.
Oh!
Is there a calamity? I don't think so. So he's fired and missed.
So he now is unloaded.
So he's unloaded and I haven't got a card that allows me to re-roll a miss. No.
So there you go, that is the Sherman Firefly. He's now unloaded and George just said he wishes it owned, but there we go. So over to Stripes, which is Ansel Glocker. So I've given him a halt order, surprise, surprise. And what do I want to do?
Are you going to push him up?
I'm going to try to pivot.
Oh, right.
Well, maybe not. Hang on, let me think. Okay, so the pivot should be free, so it won't be classed as a move, but I've only got grade 1 driver. So 4, 5, 6 as a test, and he fails, so he's just going to stay there anyway. So then as a tactical, I need to get this gun loaded. So I'm going to try a force load again. I know. But there we go. Let's give it a go. Oh, or do I? You haven't got any tanks. Yeah, let's give it a force load. And I get a 5. And this time it pays off. So I now have a shell in the ready position. And that's my tanks done. So it's over to your number 4 and 5.
Well, look, he's going to go forward because he's that sort of a guy. So he's literally going forward 7. And, do you know, I might scoot.
Are you going to pivot first?
Sorry?
You're going to pivot first? Because you'll go into the building otherwise.
I think you can go into ambush terrain. I'm not sure what the rules are, we'll check. So I am going to now make a scoot straight forward, which would mean I would have to theoretically cut through this ambush terrain. So I will roll the dice for the scoot and I can potentially move 5 inches. So I need to roll a crew test for my driver to say that he is able to negotiate driving through the bits of rubbish and whatever.
And what level is your driver?
My level of that driver with Will Fuller is only a 1 star. So it's 50-50, 4, 5 or 6. However, I have failed, but I have a charmed life.
Just like I had. There you go. So you get to re-roll.
I get to re-roll and fail again. So he gets another chance at it. He's getting kicked in the shoulder we'll give him a good kick in. And he's
Still
failed.
So you just go up and touch it, don't you?
Like that, yeah.
Yep. There we go. So that's your tank number 4 done. So it's just your last tank number 5 over here.
Number 5, I've got him doing a right turn. George Morgan with his damaged turret. Yeah, okay, we're going forward. We're going right turn, so we'll do a little like that, and then we can move 4. And then I can attempt to pivot, because it's part of the movement.
Yep.
So I'm going to try and just do a little bit of a pivot that way, to keep me pointing in roughly the right direction. So this is where I should have kept my powder dry. So George Morgan's driver is also a bit of a numpty. 4, 5 or 6.
And he fails as well.
It's failed. So
And for your tactical?
I'm thinking I'm going to put another AP in the load.
Yeah.
So I've got 1 in the spout and 1 in hand, as it were.
Very good.
And that ends the voting of the British jury.
And that actually ends turn 1 as well, doesn't it? So
It does.
we collect up all the tokens for...
We do stuff now.
Yeah, so we're going to collect up the tokens. We get allocated new cards for any that have gone. We start turn 2 and we reallocate the order. So let's collect them all up and start turn 2. Okay, so admin phase is the final phase. We're just going to go through these. So first one you said was remove...
Initiative markers.
Yep, so 1 and 3 there for me. Discard and replenish event cards.
So it says you can discard or replenish event cards during this step of the admin phase. Right, if you haven't used any of your event cards, you would be able to exchange any that you wanted. However, we both use them and we may now replenish to a number equal to the number of crew grade stars on your highest level commander. So your highest level commander is 2.
Yeah,
So you may only take 2, but you would never be allowed to exceed your start limit of 4.
So that would be quite a good reason to have a 3-star commander, because actually you can replace...
There are lots of reasons I'm beginning to think about
Yes.
3-star commanders.
Yes, me too.
Initiative tests and all
Yes.
sorts.
Okay, and then what else do we need to do?
Well, should we do that?
We're not doing elapsed time. Deploy reserves, and next turn begins.
Take a
Perfect. I'll just take the nearest ones.
Oh, fell for it this time.
Okay, 2 new cards.
I've got line of sight.
Okay, so turn 2, you've got line of sight.
So basically it's a 3, 4, 5 or 6 to do a radio check.
And you get it.
So I've passed my radio check, so I get to pick 3. Do you want to joggle them up for me? No, I did do it.
It's fine. Go on.
You've got to pass a radio check to get to do that, otherwise you have to put them blind.
Oh, I see. So I need to pass a radio check, so I need to roll high as well. I get 6.
That's fine. So you take those 2 and you can put them where you want. If you fail your radio check, you have to assign them blind.
Right, there we go. So we've allocated our tokens for the order of the tanks, but this time we're just trying it hidden and see what that's like, which we think is probably the way to do it, because then you don't know which of your enemy tanks move in next. But there we go. So they're all allocated. So we're going to move on to phase 1 of turn 2. Okay, so because we've got them revealed, who's got token number 1? Well, I know I have.
I know you have.
So I am going to reveal number 1 is Stripes. So Ansel Glocker is going to do a halt maneuver, funny enough. And he is... I can still see you.
Yeah.
And I've got an armour piercing round ready. So I think I've got a little bit of time. So I am actually... I know I've spotted you. So I need to now...
Yeah, we got the spot on him.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's turn that to aim, because that's what I'm going to do as
So
part
that's
of
your
my...
tactical
Yeah.
action. Number 2 is Firefly, who's got a laser pointer pointing right at him. And he's halting.
Yeah.
He's unloaded.
Oh, you're going to
So
try it?
I'm going to just have a quick look at my cards in case I've got anything to worry you with.
You're going to force load it?
Yep, I'm going to play Onto the Breach. Onto the Breach, tank's gunner effortlessly reloads. Play when you are performing a load main gun action. The gunner can make a forced load automatically without having to make a crew test.
Perfect.
The gunner is allowed to forced load even a very heavy gun with this card.
Very good.
So he's gone straight to ready.
Yes.
But that is his... That's him finished.
We're going to have a bit of a tank off, I think.
I like the card.
Okay, number 3. Okay, tank number 3. This time it's Snow White, and I have given him a left turn. Funny that. Okay, so because of left turn, I can move 4 inches, and then I'm just going to turn that way, because at the moment I'm obscured. And then for my tactical, I'm going to do a scoot.
Oh, right.
Because there's nothing else I've got. I can't see a tank over there. There's no kind of ambush, is there? That's what I want.
There are cards that will put infantry in ambush locations firing, or anti-tank guns firing.
Okay, but I think I'm just going to do a scoot.
Okay, so 2 dice. Highest fall up to the... Yeah.
So 5 inches, but actually all I want to do is just go to there.
That's good.
It's just to protect my side from those 2 tanks there. So there you go. That is my tanks.
4, 5. So number 4 is Hedge Cutter. He's going forward, but he's going to do a pivot first.
I don't blame you. You didn't make it into the ambush terrain, so...
No, we're going to do a pivot and then we're going to go forward. So he's got... He's only a 1 driver, so he's a 4, 5 or 6. Oh,
Yeah, no problem.
worked it out. It's been kicked in the head enough times. We do a pivot, then we're going forward, and the pivot doesn't actually, so we can move forward 7.
And is he loaded or unloaded?
He isn't fired yet.
Oh, so you're going to do a scoot.
I might. So we're going to do a scoot forward to try and get round the side of your... You should put him on camera. I love dogs. So scoot is highest.
2.
I haven't got a card, have I? No. Oh, what's that one? So,
There's a 2-inch marker there. There you go. And this is what we're talking about. The dog wants to come back in.
number 5, which is Wilful. Oh no, this is George Morgan and his amazing tank. He's got a left turn order.
Oh, I thought he might.
And he's got one up the spout. But he's so he's going to move 4 inches forward. And he's going to move left.
Yeah.
He can't snapshot, but he's going to spot you. He's going to try for a spottage of your... it may be free if, because he's unbuttoned. We're getting the hang of this. So he's got to pass a driver commander test. He's a 4. He needs a 4. No, he's a 2. He needs a 3, 4, 5 or 6, yeah?
Yep. And he's spotted for free.
For free. Now, the question is...
Do you or do you not?
See, at the end of if it was the end of the 3 phases, you could take a real gamble, couldn't you? Or move in before him. But I know that you are going to be able to shoot me before you haven't spotted me. I'm going to aim. I'm aiming at you.
Okay.
That's the end of that activation.
Okay, turn 2, phase 2. So tank number 1 is Stripes, and I have given him a halt order because I've already spotted you and I'm aimed, so I am going to take a shot. So with my targeting, Stripes gets 3 dice. Yeah, and you're going to play
I haven't got one.
Okay, so let's work this out. So I've got 3 dice because I've locked in.
Yep. You need a 5 out of those 3 dice.
And I get 1.
So you've hit him. Now you have to roll for the location of where you hit, and because he's counting this fall down, 1, 2, or 3 just is no hit.
And I get a 6.
So 6 is turret, I believe.
I believe you're right.
Penetration is 8. My turret front is 9.
I get a 1 again.
So it's a glancing blow.
5.
It's a glancing blow. So you've hit the turret, you've damaged the turret.
Yep.
Because you've got enough penetration to damage the turret. So again, you glancing blow on the turret.
And then he's unloaded.
And it's a damage on the turret. And that means I have to roll for my commander who's got his head out, because he's that sort of chap, on the what happens on bottom table. So 4.
Okay, so yeah, a 4 is bottomed up.
But he survives.
He does. He's just got damage on the hull, on the turret.
Yeah. So yours is next. My movement order is halt.
Yes.
My special action will be aim.
Yep.
So I am now aiming at Stripes. And I have got 1 up the spout.
Very good.
Number 3.
Which is my tank here. So let's have a look. Okay, so Snow White, I've given a forward movement. Okay, so forward order, I can move up to 7. So I am actually just going to move forward slightly.
You don't have to move at all if you don't want to.
No, I just want to get to there. Okay, so I've just moved my tank forward just a little bit, and then I'm looking at Sherman there. So I'm still unbuttoned. So I need to do a crew test on the commander.
Yes.
Is that right? So I'm going to try and see if I can spot your Sherman.
So it's 3, 4, 5, or 6.
And I get a 6. So I've spotted him for 3.
I need a spotter for whatever one that is.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually going to target because, as we said, because I've moved, and the reason I've moved is because I think this tank's going to come up behind me. But yeah, so I'm going to target that one, if you would please. Turn the...
So you're aimed now?
Yeah. And that's my tank over with. Over to you for your 4 and 5.
Okay. Number 4, Wilf, with his head trimmer. He's got a forward order.
I thought he might.
So he's going to go 7 forward. And we're going to pivot that way. No, maybe not, because we're saying this is... I'm going to pivot, which means I've got to pass a driver test.
He's only 1 star, isn't he?
He's rubbish, so I need a 4, 5 or 6.
You get it?
So I'm just going to pivot a little bit that way.
Yep.
And then I'm going to spot. I think I'm clear, aren't I, to spot your...
Stripes? Yeah, I would imagine so. Is that what you're going for?
Or should I scoot? I'm going to scoot.
Why not?
Oh, 2 inches again. Pull yourself together.
He's just seen there's another tank there and he's going, oh, steady, steady.
Might live to regret that. No, to shift your target, it's not easy, is it?
No.
You take a
You're
snapshot.
kind of locked into your targets. Everyone's focused on that
Yeah.
tank, aren't they?
You can take a snapshot, but halt.
Okay, number 5 is
Fire.
halt. Yeah.
You are targeted. Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we under 18? Doesn't make any difference, really. Oh, it might do. No, we're not under 18. So, you're targeted.
Just before you do that, I've got a card for this.
Oh, no.
Which is why I targeted you, not fired. It says quick reactions. Your commander reacts to a fire main gun action on one of your tanks. So the effect is the commander of the tank must make a crew test. If the test is passed, the target may perform an immediate fire main gun action against the tank about to shoot at it, if possible.
Fantastic.
This shoot suffers a penalty for moving and shooting. This shot, suffers the penalty for moving and shooting. If the enemy tank survives, it continues with its firing action. Your tank, so basically if you survive, you still get to shoot. So there you go.
What's that one called?
Quick reactions.
Oh, you don't have anything to cancel that.
Okay.
That is a great card. So you get to fire at me, you've
Yes.
targeted me, you've moved.
Yeah, so it's one dice.
Does he have to pass a...
Okay, so let's
3, 4, 5 or 6?
So let's make a commander test. 3, 4, 5, 6, and I get to do this. And I get a 5, so I do. He has moved.
So he's targeted.
So ordinarily it would be 3 dice for targeted. I've moved, so I drop 1. Is that right?
Yep.
So it's 2 dice, needing 5s.
Yep.
And I get 2 hits.
Well, 1 hit.
Okay, well I achieve it.
You really hit it. Right. Okay. So now we have to decide where you hit it. It's all available.
Yeah.
It's all
is that
front.
just 1d6?
You 1d6.
So we check the chart. 2.
Is that suspension? The hull.
Okay, so 2 on a front shot is the hull.
So you've got a penetration of 8.
Yeah.
I have a front armour of 8. So you now have to roll 1 dice for penetration, don't you? So it's 8 plus this.
Okay, let's see. 3.
So that's 3 more.
Okay, so according to the chart, I've rolled a 3. So the penetration exceeds the armour by 3. Is that right?
Yes.
So a 1, 2, and 3, your tank's destroyed. And I get a 6.
It's now damaged.
Okay, so that tank survived, but he's now got a second damage marker. 1 was on the hull, and 1 is on the turret from previously. Is that right?
Yep. So he's got 1 on the turret, 1 on the hull. As soon as you get 3 damage or 2 in any one place, or 2 on the tracks, he becomes crippled.
So he's not in a good way. So that's my quick reactions gone.
Yeah, give.
And then you're going to return fire.
You can bet your bottom dollar that I've got you targeted. So that is 3 dice.
Just before you do that, I have a dice, a card, which is the Fog of War. At any time, place a smoke marker on a friendly tank or on an enemy tank.
Yeah, okay.
So let's work out what that does, and I'll decide whether I put it on you or on me. So there you go. I've just deployed my smoke from my card, which just reduces the number of dice you roll by
You've
1.
shoved a smoke grenade out of the
Out the hatch.
pistol
Kaboom.
hatch, and so it now makes it harder for me to hit you. So I would be hitting you with 3.
Now it's 2.
Now it will be 2 dice.
So 2 chances on a 5. Oh, and you get it.
Got a hit. So I've hit. Now I have to see where I hit. It's your front doings. So okay. So it's front. It's a 6. So that's dangerously the turret, isn't it?
Sounds
5
like
to
it.
6 turret. And what's your turret front?
So that is Snow White. The turret front is 13.
13. And I've got a strike value of 8.
So you need a 5.
So I need 5 or 6.
Yes. Roll low. Yeah.
So I've failed to penetrate. Now I'm not sure what effect on your... I think your driver has to test... your driver. Your commander has to test to see whether he stays...
Okay, let's roll the dice to see what happens to my commander. 5.
5. Stunned. The commander must immediately button up and lose 1 star for the remainder of the battle.
Oh,
Oi.
could have done without that. So there you go. I'm now buttoned and I've removed one of the stars from the commander in that tank. And that's it for phase 2, is it? That was your tank number 5?
Phase 2.
So we're going to phase 3. Okay, turn to phase 3, and up first I have got stripes. But actually what I'm going to do is regroup. So a calm head is a virtue in battle. And apparently this allows me to... So once all initiative markers have been revealed, you may reallocate your own initiative markers amongst your tanks.
Yep.
So I'm going to regroup and do 1 and 3. So Snow White's going to go first.
That is a very good time to play that card.
So Snow White's got it's buttoned, and I'm just going to do a forward because I don't like this tank coming up behind me. Although it hasn't target acquired yet, I want to get moving. So I can move without penalty forward, and let's see where I end up. Okay, so that was my movement. I've ended up there, and tasty for your tank there, but he hasn't. It'd have to be a snapshot, wouldn't it? Because he hasn't spotted and. But anyway, I've still got your tank there targeted. I do have a round in the ready position, so I'm going to move that. Sorry, it was in the load position, so I'm going to move the armor piercing as my tactical into the ready. There we go. So now goes to tank 2, which is your Firefly.
So Herbert Toft is on a halt order.
Yep.
So we ain't moving anywhere.
And he's loaded, isn't he?
Buttoned down. He is loaded and ready to fire. He is going to try and spot your Panther Snow White.
Yep.
That's just come out. What Snow White is in German? Probably would have sounded really cool.
Might have done. I should have looked
Wasser,
up.
Wasser.
Well, Wasser's water, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I'll shut up. Right, so I'm going to try and do a spot. I am buttoned up. So does that mean I can't do it as a free? I can't do it as a free, can I?
No.
So do you know what I'm going to try?
Go on.
I'm going to try a snapshot.
Oh, go on then, because you've got one up the spout, haven't you? Ready to go?
I'm ready to go, but I'm pretty sure a snapshot I get to roll. I have to roll 2 dice and get. It would be glorious, but unlikely. And I'm a sucker for those odds. Do with the Firefly, Herbert Toft is going to have a snapshot of this this panther that has presented itself. Now, snap shooting is very difficult. He will have to roll 2 dice. I always roll 2 dice in a snapshot, and both of them have to be equal or above to hit. So on this occasion, we have 2 dice, and both of them have to be 5+. We have faith.
Yes.
I haven't got a card that helps. There are cards that don't help. So not one of them.
So you just go unloaded.
So I go unloaded. That's be worth a try.
Yeah.
And that is number 2. So it's over to number 3.
Okay, so number 3 is mine. Okay, so stripes I've given a right turn because what I want to do is just move a pivot basically. So I don't want to move my 4 inches forward because I can't on there. So I just need to do the pivot. There we go, so all I've done is just pivoted, so I've cleared the building so I don't have to worry about that, but also facing this threat here. Okay, so now for my tactical, I'm going to try to, he's got 2, hasn't he? So I'm going to try and force load it. And I don't, so he just stays unarmed.
No, it wasn't a calamity, it goes into the load bay.
Cool. There we go, so I rolled a 2, so although I didn't get to be in the ready position, I've just gone into the loaded position. So tank number 4 is on a halt.
So he's halting there. He is going to try and acquire you. He's going to try and spot you for free, because he's not had any upsets yet.
Yep.
So he's going to do a free spot. He is a level 2 commander, so 3, 4, 5 or 6.
It's a good chance. Oh!
And he's looking, there's no
And
calamity when spotting. Hang on.
You've got a card.
I have not. No, I've got some really awful cards. So, he's not spotted. Oh, I spot him, but it cost me my tactical.
That's right.
So this guy he's not loaded. He's got a halt order,
I thought you might.
but he has not got anything ready. But it's just loady. So he's just going to go ready
Indeed.
for next turn.
I thought you
When
might.
he's going to get blown to smithereens, probably.
Yeah.
But, you know, worth a try, worth a chance. Got to take a gamble. So that's the end of turn 3.
Phase 3. Turn 2, phase 3. So we're going to
Turn
go on to... yes.
Action phase
Right.
3.
So now we go into admin.
Admin.
Yes.
So we take off the counters.
Yep. And we get new cards. Right, so turn 3, phase 1. We've reissued the cards. We've got
Radio
these.
check.
Yes, it's my turn, is it?
Yep.
So I'm German, so 3, 4, 5.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so
you
I'll
can
pick
take
2.
And you can assign them in a minute. Now it's me. I have got this issue where they're not, he's got line of sight, but he's not got any line of sight to anybody. So I have to roll 4, 5 or 6. It's harder because they can't see each other. So we know what this is going to be.
Yes, go on.
Oh, I expected the worst. So that's okay. Ooh, at least they're different than last time.
Okay, turn 3, phase 1. Who has got number 1?
That would
I
be
do
me,
believe it's you.
and that would be George over here. George Morgan.
Okay, and what have you ordered?
Well, he's unloaded. He has got a suicidally halt order. He is going to force load. He's going to make a forced load automatically without having to make a GRU test. The gunner is allowed to force load even a very heavy gun. So he's going to force load more than them around. I had 2 of them in my hand at the same time. Now, is there a restriction on how many cards you can play on any tank? I don't think there is. We've not been playing that, have we?
I haven't read anywhere that says that.
Okay, no, neither have I. We also have teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
Those hours of extra drill pay off. Play when one of your tanks performs a tactical action. Your tank may perform an extra tactical action during the action phase. So not only has he got it loaded, you know, he's gonna shoot.
Okay.
Yeah. Does it count as teamwork?
Nope. You carry on.
Oh. Targeted.
Yep.
He's managed to pull all the stops out. So we have 3 dice.
Come with the man, come with the moment. So you get 3 dice.
George Morgan has drilled them well. 3 dice, needing A5. I've over-egged that, haven't I, saying that?
They should come out high.
Oh!
I think that's
It's
just
a
so long.
blunder. I needed that last turn. That would have been
Yeah.
calamity. Right, so we have hit. Hurrah! So it goes not fired now. So we're seeing where we hit.
Yeah, go on. I have got a card.
Is it after I've rolled this?
It's when you hit.
Okay, I've hit you.
So it says improvised armour.
Oh yeah.
So it basically gives me a +2 against this shot.
+2 on
Increase
your
your
armour.
tank's armour value by 2.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay. It's going to be impenetrable.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
So I've hit 3, which at the front is hull, I believe.
Penetration table?
No, it's to hit. Hit location.
Yes,
Front.
3 hull.
Hull. So I've hit your hull. So your hull is normally, what, 12?
It is.
So it's now 14 because I've hit that tank track that you've welded on the front.
That's right.
So your front is 14 and my strike, my attack value, what do they call it? Penetration value is 8. So can I carry one of those 6s over?
I'm just glad you used them all
I
up.
need a 6.
1.
Glancing blow.
Yes. So let's work out where the
So it's a glancing blow. I haven't penetrated, but this is a glancing blow. So
I don't think that's on there, is it? There we go. Fortunately, that card paid off because there's no effect, is there? So you've had a stunning hit, but it just went ding and bounced off.
Bounced off the track that you'd welded on the front.
Yes, indeed. There you go. So the cards do play a pivotal part in this, don't they? Especially when you think,
I like the way the cards interact.
Yeah, it's good. Right, there we go. So that was tank 1, was it?
Number 1.
Okay, number 2. So tank number 2 is Snow White, and I have given a reverse order.
Right.
I think I've done that wrong, but anyway.
You don't have to move. Movement is entirely optional, but it counts as you are moving for shooting.
Yeah. And I think I am going to go backwards. Right, there we go. So I am just going to move back 4. Let's get the marker there. And that's where I end up. And then for my tactical, I'm going to have to get some ammunition in. Right, so I'm going to go for a forced load and let's see what happens. And he's only a 1-star now, so I need a 4, 5 or 6. And I get a 5, so that's passed. So I have loaded my armour piercing into the ready position.
It must be this one. Number 3, it's Wilf Waller, the Welsh wizard, and his order is halt. So he's going to halt, and he is going to, he's ready, he's going to shoot at your, try and shoot at your panther.
Are you going to spot it first?
Oh, he's got to spot it, hasn't he?
Yep.
That's what we failed last time. Going to try and spot your, he's unbuttoned, so it's 3, 4, 5 or 6. So he's spotted, but that's his move over.
Yeah. So have you got your token?
I have.
And we can put it, so that might have saved his bacon for now.
Well, it's not going to penetrate. It's not going to penetrate. Right. And guess what? It's a lot of static. He's halted. He's not loaded. This was where I weighed up.
Yeah.
Should have forced him to load because he's got a much better chance. But, so, he is going to try and force load. His gunner is a 2, so he needs 3, 4, 5 or 6 to... It's a calamity, so he doesn't do anything.
No, so he's on.
He is... That's it, 4. It's just your number 5 now.
Number 5, which is this Stripes. I've given him a reverse order, but I don't think it really matters. So for my...
You don't have to move.
No, indeed. So now I am going to try to spot this tank here.
Yep.
So he is, the commander is 2 stars.
Yep, so it's 3, 4, 5 or 6.
And I don't.
In fact, he's fallen out of the turret on a 1.
So I don't get to finish his loading. He just puts his token and is
So he has
spotted.
Turn 2.
Phase 2, turn 2. Right, so tank number 1. Okay, so the first tank is number 1.
George Morgan.
George Morgan.
He's staying put. He's got no ammunition loaded. He is going to force load. His gunner is a 2, so he needs 3, 4, 5 or 6. Oh. So he is now ready. That is the end of his...
Okay, so then tank number 2 is Snow White. And I have given Snow White a reverse order again.
Right.
I'm worried about this too hot to handle. So 4 inches. I'm just going to reverse back 4 inches. Oh. I don't know if that now obscures or whether you can still see me. I think I haven't managed to go back far enough, have I? I'm thinking about this one.
That's why. Oh, I think I've got a nice clear line.
Oh, it's this one I was thinking about, the Firefly.
Oh, I don't think he can.
Although your Firefly's not loaded anyway, is it? You probably just get a little bit.
You would get that.
As long as you can see part of the tank or the hull.
Yeah.
So I've not managed to move back enough.
Okay.
So that was his reverse order. I do have one ready. So I'm going to fire, I think.
Okay, so it's be 1 dice, needing 5 to hit. Because you've moved.
So I'm going to play a card.
He is targeted yet. So
I'm going to play a card. When your tank fires at a target, when rolling to hit, you may re-roll any of the dice or one of the dice.
Okay.
You may re-roll the result on the hit target. That's the option, so one or the other. So I'm re-rolling to hit. 4.
Miss.
Worth
Good
trying.
card. Good cards.
And then he's unloaded.
See, like you say, that's not worded right very well, is it? When your tank, when rolling to hit,
It was
you
one
may
or the other.
re-roll any or all of the dice.
Okay, number 3.
Oh, not that one. He's got a halt order. Now, he desperately needs to spot you. He has spotted you. Oh, so... he is going to aim.
Yep.
So that's the end of his turn.
He's still got a round ready to go, has he?
Yep. He's got a special super duper round ready to go. No, it's just a normal round. So now we go to 4, which is my...
Yep.
He's going to try and force load. Halt force loading. Sounds like something out of Star Wars, doesn't it? Force loading.
Nope.
That man is obviously sick. He's having a breakdown in that tank.
So he stays unloaded.
He stays unloaded, and that is the end of his...
So then he goes on to 5, which
Stripes.
is stripes. I just want to move that out of the way. So 5 stripes. I have given him a halt order. So he is unbuttoned. Right. So for my tactical, I'm just going to have to make that round ready to go because I should be able to hit him at that range. So there we go. That's all of the tanks. That was a bit quicker that round.
Yeah.
So let's go into the next round, or the next phase. So turn 2, phase 3. So tank number 1 is yours, isn't it? It's the guy over here.
Yep. Tank number 1 is George Morgan, and he's holding. He's got one ready. He's got you targeted. He's going to try and shoot.
Yep.
It's like a pea shooter, firing away at a... so he's got you targeted. He's firing at your front. He's got 3 dice, needing 5s.
Oh, unlucky.
Whiffed. So they're panicking in the face of Panthers.
It's after the last amazing shot did nothing, and now they're panicking about it.
He said you did really well hitting that extra armour.
Okay, tank 2, and it's Snow White, and I'm going to be gamey, and I know this Sherman's going to be able to shoot my tank, so I actually have given a reverse order. So I can move 4 back. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, because then that means it basically gives me cover. It's going to be harder to hit my other tank. So that's my move.
So I can't see you now.
Yeah, so that the Firefly loses it, doesn't it? And then for my let's try and, well, it doesn't really matter because we're going to finish on this one. Let's try and force load it.
Okay.
So the gunner's 2. So I need a 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
4, I'll get 6. So he is force loaded.
The trouble is with the 6, he's put 2 rounds in the breech.
He gets to fire immediately.
Double tap.
So there we go. So number 3 is now your tank, which is the one I've been trying, unless you've done a forward movement.
I haven't.
I imagine you've done a halt.
I have. So he's going to try a snapshot at your... He's going to try a snapshot at your Panther that suddenly appeared in front of him, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So I need 2 5s. Worse things, stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Nope. Close, a 3 and a 5.
So he's now unloaded. He had to be tried.
Okay, because the Sherman changed target, we were going to remove the targeted token. Then it's number 4, which is, yes.
He's going to try and force load, even though...
So what movement has he got? It's a halt.
Oh, sorry, he's a halt.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Straight in there, have it.
That's it. Have it. Now, just your stripes.
Yep. You have to spot him first, don't you? See if you can get it for free.
Oh, I can't fire.
Oh, yes.
I've done my loading. It's your stripes turn.
So stripes is...
What's his order?
Well, I'm going to fire. He's...
Is he on a halt?
Oh, yes, sorry. He is on a halt. And I'm going to fire at this tank here.
Yep.
With this, actually, I can fire over my tank.
You can fire in, it just means he's hold down.
He has got one ready.
Yep.
So,
Is it 5?
okay, so I've spotted but not targeted, so it's just 1 dice, and I need a 5 to hit. And I miss. And so that just goes a wasted shot. And that is the end. So we'd go into admin phase, wouldn't we?
We would, if we're stopping now, because the clock has said we have to stop.
Yes. Okay, so we've played 2 turns, that's 6 phases in total, just to learn the basic rules. The first couple of phases took a little bit of time looking at the rules, but we've kind of managed to speed up a bit. I think the cheat sheet at the back, if we could create another one with some more cheat bits in it, then I think that will help. We need to decide if there's a winner from this, because none of the tanks are destroyed. You've got a couple of damage markers, but that's about it.
We would be pulling back.
Yeah, do you think minor victory for the Germans or
I
a
would
draw?
say that they've decided that they can't take on Panthers so well and pull back before they... One tank has got 2 hits on it, 2 knots of damage. One's got 1 damage on it. The 17 pounder just hasn't been able to get going. No, I think it's. I think we'll give it a minor German victory. You won that one.
So a minor German victory. That's what I was thinking. So I'm quite happy with that. So we'll quickly stop there, and then we'll have a quick discussion about the rules and what we've found so far, and what we might do for the next one. Right. So our first game, having read the rules quite briefly over the weekend, we've only got the free affiliate rule book, which we've kindly been sent through by Warlord to do a game. Hopefully you enjoyed the battle. Don't forget, give us a please like, share, comment and subscribe at the bottom. It all helps. But let's have a talk through what we thought of the rules. George?
Right. I enjoyed playing it. I think the rules are good. I like that. I don't mind micromanaging a little bit. It's only...
I was a little bit worried about that, but I think once you've played a few games, I think that will speed up.
And when we've got the proper... We had to improvise on the marker for
and the tokens, yeah. So I think having proper tokens will really help.
It will. We've improvised quite well, but it's not so visually instant.
Yeah.
You have to
Makes
look
you
at
think,
it quite
yeah.
carefully. We have to work it out. I really enjoyed the card play. I like board
Yeah.
games, and
Do you know,
I like games that have that sort of
I will agree with you on that one.
backwards and forwards with the cards.
Because there was a couple of times, weren't there, where you played cards and I played cards, and
Yeah.
it's...
And I hope that we've got it right, that you can play cards that way, as many cards as you in a chain. I really like it.
Yeah, I think so as well. You've only got a certain amount in your deck, so...
Yeah, you burn them, you can only replace them at
Yeah,
2 or
2 at a
3.
time, yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the card play. I think it was, Shermans really struggle against Panthers. I think that would be well known. I was trying to come round your flank. Now, the only thing I would say that is the targeting failed to, the fact that a Panther reverses directly in front of you and you've still got to spot it, even though it's within a certain range. Now, whether we're doing something, missing something.
I guess for me, because you did do a snapshot, which I think is absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're targeted on distance, and then you're looking at that tank in the distance, and everyone's
Suddenly
focused on
somebody
it.
comes into range.
And then suddenly this big white thing appears.
It's kind of
change and fire.
But yeah, it's fine. I like the fact that the terrain, the ambush terrain, unless designated, is you can shoot through it, you can see through it. They've got to get used to that.
Yeah.
But although we're using buildings, it doesn't actually, if we're doing it right, it doesn't block line of sight unless we designate it as blocking line of sight. It does mention something about its true line of sight in the rules, but it also mentions that ambush terrain gives you a hull down advantage, nothing else.
Yeah.
I believe, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, overall, I think once you've learnt the rules, I think this will be quite a quick game. I was worried that actually, like you said, with the micromanagement, it would just take so long. It took us a little while to get ready with the tank cards because we don't have any proper tank cards. So
I think,
as we showed here, we had to write them, didn't we?
Yeah.
So that took a little while.
And printing off the cards and putting them in sleeves, but it's doable. But I think what we need to use is the assets. I think the fact that perhaps you could, I don't think infantry even notionally can appear in ambush positions and things without having the assets to deploy in that way. So I think that would, if you're having to worry like a real tank crew would about who's in the woods, who's in the buildings a little more, that would add a certain extra layer of realism.
Okay, well there you go. That was our first game of Achtung Panzer. Please give us a comment below. Tell us if you want to see more. If you do, give us a thumbs up and tell us what you thought, and we'll look at doing future battles soon. Take care and see you all again soon.